welcome. We're so glad to have you here tonight. It's so great to see so many people. My name is Brian Nissen. I'm the producer of the Mayor's podcast, It's Always Cool in Mesa. We're going to be performing, as you see here tonight, a radio play. But we're not the only ones who are going to be performing a radio play. Some of you are too. But we need to know that you're up to snuff. And so we've pre-selected some people to audition for this privilege, I think we're going to call it. And I'm going to turn the time over to the producer of this show tonight, Mark Arnett, to do some auditioning.
I'd like to thank my entire family for that. That's great. Okay. David, how you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. That's good. That's good. Where are you from?
I am from Mesa, Arizona.
Oh, came all the way. Okay. David will be playing the part of Mayor Giles in tonight's performance of Amateur Hour. We're doing Amateur Hour, It's a Wonderful Life, Mesa edition. And so you'll be playing John Giles. And so right here, I need you to audition for this crowd. And if they think you'll pass, then you can go up on the stage. You ready? Here we go. Here's your line. Right.
I've given my whole life to Mary Main Street. Why? What does it mean?
Take that card. You're going to walk all the way around there, and then you're going to come up on stage. Walk all the way. You don't take directions well, do you? No? Okay. Somebody help him. All the way down there, all the way back here.
Okay,
and Terry Thomas here will meet you.
I got another one here.
More shirts? Oh. That's a good fake out.
That was my Magic Johnson no-look kind of thing I'm trying to do there. You got another? You ready?
I got another one. I've got
right.
Dawn Giles. This is the wife of the mayor. You probably knew that, though, didn't you?
Yes.
What's your name?
Laura.
Laura, okay, you're pretty excited?
Super excited.
This is going on television, you know. It's being recorded for Channel 11.
I bet it has a lot of viewers.
Hundreds.
Hundreds, yeah.
Hundreds of viewers. It's going to be great. You're going to love it. Here's your line. You're playing Dawn Giles.
Oh, John, don't you know you're the most swell mayor of all time?
They like you. You passed. Very good.
Nice. Very nice. Can I just take a sample poll right now? Because this has been an argument in our family. And I got enough people to vote here. I want to.
All right.
If you think the names Dawn and John rhyme, let me hear it. Wrong answer. Back to you.
It's technically an imperfect rhyme, but close enough for us.
All right.
Okay. All right, we've got another one here. Matthew. Big round of applause for Matthew.
Thank you.
Matthew, are you from somewhere interesting, or are you from just around here?
I'm from here, but I go to school in Idaho, if that helps.
Wow.
No, doesn't count.
Went
I
from
don't think it
relatively
counts.
interesting to uninteresting.
All right, here's your card. You'll be playing Clarence the Angel. Here we go.
Calm down, son. I'm here to help you. Ooh, this nightgown is drafty.
All right,
Nice.
What do you think?
Nice.
Very good, you passed.
All right.
That's good, come on. All right,
Mark, I'm going to put another one in the balcony.
Oh, yeah.
Here. See if
Go
I can,
for it.
okay?
See if you can do it. Ah.
Nice job.
That's pretty good,
Good
John.
catch. Good catch.
That's great, Brian. Okay,
Yeah, thanks.
good. Any more?
No, I'm going to hold for now.
You're going to hold for now?
Yep.
This is it. This is the last guy.
Oh, okay, then I'll throw a few more. I can't.
Oh.
And I think back here we need one. All right, there we go. I'm empty.
How much for the bag? No, just kidding. Here we go. All right, we've got Spencer. Big round of applause for Spencer. Coming to this. Spencer, you get the best job of all because you get my job doing the sound effects, okay? Now, they all had a line to read, but you have 3 different auditions for this. The first, I need you to make the sound of a windstorm, followed by a gunshot, followed by a man getting struck by a bullet. That's pretty good.
Wow.
All right.
He actually made the sound of flesh being
I know.
pierced. That was good.
It was clearly a sci-fi movie. I don't know if you noticed that.
You didn't tell him what
Yeah.
genre. So.
Sure. You've been watching Andor lately?
No.
Oh, here we go. Make the sound of the inside of a can of green beans.
Wow. I think those green beans have gone bad. Can I just say?
It's pretty good. Admittedly, a difficult one. Here's a little different. Oh, one last question. In the old radio shows, they would use a violin to create sad music, right? Do you play the violin?
I do not.
You do now. All right, on back there. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our amateur hours. Thanks, Brian. Back to you.
All right, that's going to be fantastic. The Man Who Killed Santa Claus is brought to you by the good people at Caliber Wealth Management. They're not only supporters of very sophisticated, high-toned shows such as this, but they are completely invested in the revitalization of downtown Mesa. And now, yes, applause for them. And now it's time to introduce who I think is absolutely the funnest mayor in America. Would you agree with me? Here he is, your MC tonight and the host of the podcast, It's Always Cool in Mesa, Mayor John Giles.
It's always cool in Mesa.
Thank you.
It's always cool in Mesa.
Thank you very much.
It's
Thank
always
you.
cool in Mesa.
Thank you very much. It's nice to have your own walk-on song. I didn't realize that. I want to make sure that everyone feels very welcome to the Mesa Arts Center. Isn't this a beautiful facility? We are so proud of the Mesa Arts Center, and we're so blessed as a community to have this building. And I also want to welcome you to the first night of Merry Main Street. I think a lot of you were with me an hour ago when we lit the Christmas tree with Santa Claus, and I had the wonderful experience of walking from point A to point B, and you just can't do that without having the Christmas spirit, and I just feel so blessed that we're here. I think it's important that you celebrate holidays. I think it's important that our kids have memories and that we have events and facilities, to create those memories. And a lot of American cities, have wonderful traditions, right? I mean, Boston, we think of the marathon, right? Albuquerque, New Mexico has the International Balloon Fiesta, and they're famous for that, right? Ashland, Oregon, you may know, is world famous for their Shakespeare Festival, right? We've got some Shakespeare fans here. And so here in Mesa, I think we don't maybe take ourselves quite so seriously. Every year we get together and celebrate the fact that 90 years ago, we killed the jolliest man on the planet, right? Okay, sure, that's a little strange, I'll admit it. It's kind of like having a baby maybe that looks like Winston Churchill, right? I mean, it's not pretty, but it's ours, right? We own it. Well, and so this is how we celebrate this very unusual, very authentic, very true, very great Mesa story. We gather here together in our world-class art center, and that's smack dab in the middle of our now thriving downtown, and we proudly tell the world, heck yeah, we killed Santa. What do you got, a water tower? Right? We're Mesa. Are we proud of that? Who's proud of being from Mesa? All right. I thought we destroyed that photo. I'm sorry. Now that, as Brian indicated, we are here celebrating, the holidays, but there's also something that we're doing here tonight, and we appreciate you being a part of it. We're recording an episode of our podcast, It's Always Cool in Mesa. I hope you're familiar with it. Since the last time that we gathered last year, we've recorded several episodes of the podcast, and including, for those of you who are Mesa High alum, you'll know the Zito Ishikawa story, Carry On, wonderful Mesa story. We did an episode on restoring the Mesa Temple, beautiful iconic structure in our downtown. The Haas Trail Miracle, if you're a mountain biker, you know of this very cool amenity that's in Mesa, Arizona. Another episode we called the B-17 Bomber Sentimental Journey. This tells the story of an amazing aircraft in Mesa and our history attached to that. I've also had the chance to talk with some very iconic Mesa people. Alice Cooper. Who knows Alice Cooper? His Solid Rock Youth Center is right in downtown Mesa. It's a wonderful story. Also had the chance to talk with America's first skateboard Olympic medalist, Mesa boy, Jagger Eaton. That's a wonderful story. Very inspiring. I hope you saw it. And then also, it was a lot of fun to be here at the Mesa Art Center to talk to Troy Kotzer, who is Mesa's Academy Award winner for his performance in the movie Coda. That's, if you haven't heard that, Wonderful movie, won the Academy Award as well, and it's a very inspiring story. But seriously, folks, it's been a lot of fun to do this podcast. It is a lot of work, but I feel very privileged to do it. And people are constantly asking me what it's like to have your own podcast. And I think there's probably even people here tonight that have told me that this podcast has been very profound, and in fact, it's changed their lives. It's very significant impact. There might even be people in our crowd tonight, I'm sure, that I don't know would be willing to share a few of their most sincere, spontaneous, completely anonymous thoughts about the podcast. So, here we go. Yes. Anyway, it's random stranger number 1.
Yeah. Before listening to It's Always Cool in Mesa, I couldn't get a date to save my life.
Sorry.
Yeah, but after just one episode, I've got a gal calling me day and night. Yeah, it's my landlady telling me to turn on my Minecraft, but progress.
That's a start. Thank you, random stranger number 1, very much. Thank you. Ma'am, do you have a story about how the podcast has impacted you?
Well, no, yes, hold on. Okay, no, not yet. Well, I used to have a really hard time making decisions. And starting a business, well, that was really hard for me. But then I saw the Always Cool podcast about the lady that started goat yoga. And in just 1 year, I set up an offshore shell corporation to execute a leveraged buyout of all my competitors, then sold off their assets to a Chinese conglomerate. Fun.
Wow, thank you. Quite a story. Quite a story. I hope you're listening as well. Thank you. Wow. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, thank you, Mayor. I wanted to tell you, before listening to the It's Always Cool in Mesa podcast, I had leprosy.
Oh, no.
Now I don't have leprosy.
Oh, I'm glad we could help. Thank you. That's incredible.
Oh, no problem.
Oh. All right. Thank you.
Could you give me a hand?
Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. 3 random testimonies from 3 random strangers who just now happen to be making their way backstage. Thank you very much, random strangers. A lot of people, like I say, have asked me, what's it like to have your very own podcast? And the truth is, I got to be honest with you, I take this very, very seriously. It is a lot of work. And in order to kind of convey this to you properly, I took the liberty of writing a radio play that I call A Day in the Life of a Serious Podcaster. And I've asked the Citrus Valley Playhouse to perform it, so please take it away, Citrus Valley Players.
It's just another day at the offices of the It's Always Cool in Mesa podcast. Tension is high, deadlines are looming,
I need that copy.
Working on it.
and stories that change the world are being discussed. Sure, it's intense, but for a serious podcaster, it's just called life.
Here comes the mayor. I need everyone at 100%.
Okay, people, we need episode ideas. Ideas with heart. Melissa, you're on. Go.
There's this Mesa guy, see, who's trained Devin Booker Schnauzer, Louie.
Mesa, Devin, dogs, I like it. Where's the heart?
Gee, I don't know. I guess Devin loves the dog?
No, that's not heart. This is heart. Louie's a rescue dog with only 3 legs. When Devin hurts his knee, everyone thinks he's out of the season. But as he watches Louie, his comfort dog, limp around the house all day long without ever once complaining, Devin gets off his couch and leads the Suns to the first NBA championship.
Bravo, Mayor. Bravo.
Thank you.
Mayor Giles, bad news.
There's no bad news, Casey. Only dramatic turns. Go.
That Mesa lady who captures and relocates rattlesnakes with her bare hands?
Yes?
She's been bitten several times. It doesn't look good.
That means to get the story, I'll have to finish her job.
But what do you know about capturing rattlesnakes?
Absolutely nothing. But we promised Mesa a story. A story about a woman who fought against all odds. Now I'll have to be that woman because Mesa deserves a story that's raw, that's true, that stirs the soul. And if I can't do that, then how can I be called a serious podcaster?
Wow. And that's a day in the life of a serious podcaster.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, version 2, everyone.
No, there's no version 2.
No, Cassie and Melissa, Casey and Melissa actually, send over an email. You didn't get that email?
No.
All right, version 2, everyone, from the top. Let's
I only wrote the one, but yeah, all right.
It's just another day at the mayor's office. Mayor Giles is at his computer.
Oh, I'm gonna win this one for sure. Red Queen on the Black King.
Good morning, Mayor. Ready for our podcast production meeting?
Right after I watch these cards dance. Look at that. Never gets old. Woo!
Shall we talk about the next episode?
Oh, yes. She better not pick Jason.
Not Bachelorette, Mayor. The podcast.
Oh, sure.
There's a guy here in Mesa who trained Devin Booker's Schnauzer.
Good enough for me. Time for tacos. Am I right?
Mayor Giles, bad news.
Tacos Chihuas is closed?
No, the lady who captures rattlesnakes got bitten. It's bad.
So Tacos Chihuas is not closed?
Maybe we should interview her doctor and talk to the people that she's helped.
Great idea, Casey.
Good work, everyone. But let's never lose sight of the most important thing here at the podcast. The thing that gives us purpose. The thing that brings us together. The thing that makes work meaningful. Tacos.
And that's the day in the life of a serious podcaster.
Well, okay, like most things, maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle there, all right? So Casey and Melissa sent that over. That's great. Those are my staff. I really appreciate them. I hope they understand there might be a job opening in Surprise coming up. You might want to look into that. Well, tonight is going to be full of a lot of great music, you guys, and I'm very excited to welcome now our special musical guest, Miss Emma Nissen.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. To sing a love song while we stroll along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, are you married? We'll say no, man, but you can do the job in your town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. Oh, walking in a winter wonderland. Oh, walking in a winter wonderland.
And now it's time for Amateur Hour, so please welcome to the stage our amateur actors. dress up nicely. Take it away.
It's time for that holiday classic. It's a Wonderful Life, Mesa edition. It's the future. Mesa's Merry Main Street is one of the most innovative, visionary Christmas spectacles on earth. Nevertheless, Mesa Mayor John Giles has slipped into a funk. It's very, very sad.
What's wrong, sweetheart?
Sad and creepy, could I just point out.
Merry Main Street is just so old and tired.
Old and tired? I think it's exciting.
Dawn reminded John of all his Merry Main Street innovations, a real Santa's workshop that hired hundreds of the unemployed. A giant Christmas igloo that, as it melted, provided pure Icelandic drinking water for dogs. And a village of tiny homes made from gluten-free gingerbread.
I'm so proud of what you've done.
But what have I done lately? I can't think of a single new idea. Maybe Mesa would be better off if I wasn't mayor.
That night, just when he was about to sign his own resignation, he heard an alarming sound from outside.
Help! Help!
The mayor rushed outside. He was kind of klutzy, but you got out there. One of the reindeers from the mayor's rescue farm had cornered the old man.
Back off, Blitzen!
The reindeer bellowed angrily and left. He'd done some drinking before this. Mayor Giles helped the old man to his feet.
Are you okay?
Oh, yes, I was never really in danger, John. I knew you would rescue me.
You did?
My name is Clarence. I'm an angel sent to help you. John, why are you so sad?
I wish I was never mayor.
Oh, you must never say that, John.
It's true! I wish I was never the mayor of Mesa.
Okay, then you've got your wish. You were never the mayor of Mesa.
Just then, a cold wind whipped down Merry Main Street. The temperature dipped way below 65 degrees. The mayor suddenly noticed something was missing.
What? Where's my Polar Express train? Powered completely by unicorn poo.
It was never built, John, because you were never mayor.
And where's my Center for the Better Treatment of Fruitcake?
There isn't one, John. You weren't here to build it.
Just then, across the street, he saw Melissa and Casey from his office.
Melissa! Casey!
They don't recognize you, John.
Why not?
Since you were never mayor, they never worked in the mayor's office. Today, they sell moonshine out of the Casey's trunk.
And what did I become?
A shoe salesman, John. And not a very good one.
By now, Mayor Giles was in a panic when suddenly he was cornered by none other than Mr. Potter, who rolled forward in his squeaky old wheelchair. It was a wheelchair filled with crickets.
Well, if it isn't Mayor John Giles.
Wait, why do you recognize me?
Because I also wished you were never the mayor.
Potter wasted no time in repeating his usual threat.
Let's get this settled, Giles. I'm gonna open my chain of coal-powered payday loan stores, and you're gonna give me a tax break to do it.
Sorry, it's not going to happen.
Potter moved in on Mayor Giles.
Look, I don't want any trouble.
Of course you don't. Always Mr. Nice Guy. Always smiling. You're soft, Giles. And not just your politics. You're gaining weight. Your hair's thinning on top. You cry at ribbon cuttings. It's embarrassing. Be a man. Do us all a favor and move to Sweden, you rhino.
Geez, anything else?
Yeah, your podcast is dumb.
Just then, across the street, jumping to the top of page 19, just then across the street, John saw his wife, Dawn, walking past.
Dawn?
She's not your wife, John. Dawn never married. You were too busy selling shoes.
No!
John ran after Dawn. Dawn saw him coming and broke into a sprint.
Dawn, wait!
She had like piston-type legs that just... Dawn had been working out lately. He finally caught up with her.
Eventually.
What do you want from me?
Dawn, it's me, John. Don't you recognize me?
Of course I do. You sold me the worst pair of pumps I ever owned.
But I don't know anything about women's shoes.
You can say that again.
Dawn, you gotta believe me. We're supposed to be together. You have to believe me.
Look, you seem like a nice enough guy, but I'm getting out of this wretched town. Look around. You call this Merry Main Street? Where's the vision, the innovation? Sorry, kid. I'm leaving town as soon as I hit the dispensary to get my doobies.
And with that, Dawn walked away. On coconuts.
No, Dawn.
But Dawn was gone, leaving Mayor Giles desperate and alone. He coaxed a note out of that thing.
Help me, Clarence. I want to be mayor again. I want to be mayor again.
John heard someone walking toward him.
Well, there's my handsome man.
Dawn?
Dawn and John embraced.
Oh, Dawn.
Oh, John!
They kissed. Kissing sounds. They kissed for a really long time. Our amateurs.
I think that was pretty true to life, don't you? If you were one of the lucky people chosen at the beginning of the show to be a game show contestant, could we have you please take your place along and come backstage? And I'm excited that we have another special musical number. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Leah from Hall. Leah from Hall, ladies and gentlemen.
Greeting cards have all been sent. The Christmas rushes through. But I still have one wish to make, a special one for you. Merry Christmas, darling. We're apart, that's true. But I can dream, and in my dreams, I'm Christmasing with you.
holidays are joyful. There's always something new. But every day's a holiday when I'm near to you. The lights on my tree, I wish you could see. I wish it every day. Logs on the fire fill me with desire to see you and to say that I wish you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year too. I've just one wish on this Christmas Eve. I wish I were with you. Logs on the fire fill me with desire to see you and to say that I wish you Merry Christmas, Happy New Year too. I have just one wish on this Christmas Eve. I wish I were with you. I wish I were with you.
What's that sound? It's my Christmas song with a heart full of Christmas. Nothing can go wrong. My heart's as light as a feather when we're decking the halls together. I'll sing it the whole day long. My Christmas song.
Everything is awful. Life is a dumpster fire. My head just keeps on pounding and my sanity is hanging by a wire. I can't believe we gotta keep this up till New Year's Eve. It just goes on and on. My Christmas song.
What's that sound?
Everything is awful.
It's my
Life
Christmas
is a dumpster
song
fire.
with
My
a heart
head
full
just
of
keeps
Christmas.
on pounding and my
Nothing
sanity
can
is
go
hanging by a wire.
wrong. My heart's as light as a feather when
gotta
we're
keep
decking the
this up
halls
till
together.
New Year's Eve.
I'll
We
sing
just
it
go
the whole
on
day
and
long. Ring-a-ling-a-ling, ding-dong. I'll
just
sing it
goes
the whole
on
day
and on.
long. My Christmas song. Wait a minute, honey. Are you in a bad mood again this year?
Oh, can you blame me? It's rough out there.
Do you know why I deck these halls?
'Cause you're obsessed.
No, I do it for the kids. I do it for our family. Christmas is about family.
Oh, wow. I think I've just been selfish. You know what? You just inspired a change in me. Christmas is about family. You do so much for our family, and this year our kids are going to love it. My mother is going to love it.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah, she's coming to town. Tomorrow, actually. She'll be here for 2 weeks, at least. And she is going to need a big helping of that Christmas cheer of yours. Yeah, oh, and remember last time when she came, that sciatica, so we're gonna have to switch mattresses. What's that sound?
Everything is awful.
It's a Christmas cheer.
Here comes Tanya.
With a
I
heart
can't
full
go
of Christmas.
on pretending that I
like
Nothing can
her
go
horrible
wrong.
lasagna.
My
She's
heart
loud
is light
and
as
she's
a feather
mean,
when
and she
we're
snores
decking the
right
halls
through her
together.
CPAP machine.
I'll
It
sing
just
the
goes
whole
on
day
and on.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling, ding-dong. I'll sing
Just
it
goes
the whole
on
day
and on and on and on and on and on and on and
Hey, hey,
on
hun.
and on.
Linz. Hey, you broke, hun.
Hon, it's just your mother. Your mother is a lot.
Well, I know, but Christmas is
Don't.
about...
Don't you dare.
Christmas is about family.
I can't believe you used my words against me.
Someone pretty told me that today.
She won't be here too long.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling, ding-dong.
I'll sing it the whole day long. Ring-a-ling-a-ling, ding-dong.
She's back. I'll sing it the whole day long. Our Christmas song.
Let's hear it for Tyler and Lindsay Maxon, ladies and gentlemen. Isn't that great? And that song, I have to tell you, is an original song written by our musical conductor, Emily Susan Pack. Emily, take a bow. Thank you. All right, now we are at the point in our show where we're going to introduce a little segment that we like to call
Crazy Santa facts from around the world.
Crazy Santa Facts from Around the World. We've invited, as you saw, two of our, we have some great audience members that we're inviting to come forward to help us with this segment. Nice to see you, ma'am. Please tell us your name.
Delin.
So, Delin, I'm going to have you stand right over here so we can see these wonderful performers. Delin, tell us a little bit about what do you do for a living, Delin?
I'm retired.
That's great. I want to be you when I grow up, Delin. Thank you. And how did you find out about Merry Main Street and our show tonight?
Actually, I follow the city on Facebook and saw it on there. Thought it looked like fun.
Well, I think the fun is just beginning. We're going to have some fun tonight learning some little-known facts about Christmas. Our first topic is food. So let me explain the rules for how this game is played. Our performers are going to read 3 different scenarios, and only one of them is true, okay? And you're going to have to use your powers of deduction to discern which one of these 3 scenarios is true and which one is false, or which 2 others are false. So we will begin with Leah. Tell us the first scenario, please.
In southern Italy, families make a lasagna di Natale, or Christmas lasagna, for Bobo Natale, the man they call Santa Claus. Well, when Bobo Natale arrives at their door, he asks to be fed. The family, in turn, offers him the lasagna, saying, "Though we starve, you shall eat Bobo Natale." At which point, Bobo Natale cries at their humility and offers them the lasagna back. In and around Naples, competition is fierce to hire the most popular and inspiring Bobo Natale. In fact, many have agents and are represented by the Union of Bobo Natales.
Thank you, Leah. I think that's got to be true, right? A Christmas lasagna sounds like a wonderful idea. All right, Lindsay, what is our next story?
In 1974, during the holiday season, an exasperated American tourist visiting Tokyo said to a friend, "I can't find turkey anywhere in Japan. I guess I'll have to celebrate Christmas with Kentucky Fried Chicken." This comment was overheard by a KFC employee who ran straight to the KFC corporate office in Tokyo and suggested that they start a campaign called Kentucky for Christmas. And it was an immediate success. Today, if you want KFC for Christmas, you better order it in October.
All right, thank you. So in Japan, they celebrate Christmas with KFC. Plausible, I think. All right, Tyler, third story.
In Lapland, a young woman representing Saint Lucia ties bular, or small buns, into her braids. Before the Christmas celebration, she hides in her room until the family arrives. At the appointed hour, her family calls for her 3 times, saying, "O Lucia, komut ok ios dina bular." Basically, "Oh Lucia, get your buns out here." The music begins and Lucia emerges, spinning and dancing until, much to the children's delight, all of the cinnamon buns come loose and fall to the floor.
All right, good luck figuring out which one of these three stories, lasagna, KFC, hair buns, is the true story. What do you think?
I'm going for the KFC in Japan.
All right, KFC in Japan. Is that true? That is the correct answer. Congratulations. Oh, well, I'm excited to go to Japan someday and experience that. Thank you so much. We have a lovely parting gift waiting for you. You don't have to wait to catch a T-shirt. There's one waiting for you right over there. Thank you very much for playing the game. We appreciate it. All right, sir, welcome. Welcome to The Man Who Killed Santa Claus, the game show edition. Category 2 tonight is not food, but rather is reindeer, another important topic that I think we all need to be conversant in, don't we? So again, we got 3 stories. Your job is to choose which one is the true story. Tyler, let's start with you this time.
Today in America, many families leave a treat for Santa on Christmas Eve. But in an ancient Germanic tradition, food was left for Santa's 8 reindeer instead. Except the 8 reindeer were actually a single giant war horse with 8 legs. And the man who rode him was not Santa, but Odin, the Norse god. After the giant horse ate the food left for him, Odin would replace the food with treats. Whether this makes Chris Hemsworth also the son of Santa Claus is currently debated by Marvel Universe nerds.
All right, sounds like a great Marvel movie coming up. Lindsay, story number 2.
In many Slavic countries, Santa, or Dedushka Moroz as he's called, neither rides on a sleigh or has reindeer as his guide. Instead, Moroz is an intergalactic hitchhiker of sorts. He depends on shooting stars and comets to transport him to families across the world. After his final delivery, Dedushka dies, and a newborn from the nearest village becomes the new Dedushka Moroz. In 1 year, he will age 100 years, then die when he's fulfilled his mission, just as all the Dedushkas before him.
Wow. Okay, sounds very European. I mean, I could see that being true, right? Okay, Leah, choice number 3.
Giving proof that Christmas traditions aren't only derived from ancient practices, Finland has successfully added a new kind of Christmas folklore in just the last decade. The very popular death metal band, Gungrik, is led by frontman Mikko Leskinen, who bears an uncanny resemblance to Santa Claus. Each Christmas, Mikko climbs on a snowboard and is pulled by 8 motorcyclists through the streets of Helsinki. Thousands of Finns line the streets, hoping to catch what Mikko tosses to them along the way. A product which is also the title of his most popular song, Dried Christmas Meat Hearts.
Wow, okay. Shockingly, one of these stories is true, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we got the Hells Angels Christmas, we've got the Norse god Christmas, and we've got, I think, stars and... Thank you very much. All right. Which one of these 3 stories is the real story about reindeer?
I think it's going to be yours.
Dried Christmas Meat Hearts.
Dried Christmas Meat Hearts. Okay, Mark. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Which is the correct answer, Mark?
That was the cue.
There we go. Drum roll.
They were all wrong, John.
Oh, they were all
It'll come up on the slide eventually.
I believe the answer was...
There it is, the 8-legged horse.
Wow. Who knew? All right, well, sir, thank you so much for playing. We do have a lovely, It's Always Cool in Mesa t-shirt waiting for you on this side of
you get the same prize, actually, as the person who lost.
That's right. Well, folks, I have good news. Please welcome back to the stage again, Ms. Emma Nissen.
It's a marshmallow world in the winter when the snow comes to cover the ground. It's the time for play, it's a whipped cream day. I'd wait for it all year round. Those are marshmallow clouds being friendly in the arms of the evergreen trees. And the sun is red like a pumpkin head. It's shining so your nose won't freeze. Oh, the world is a snowball, see how it grows. That's how it goes whenever it snows. The world is a snowball. your favorite guy. It's a sugar date, so what if spring is late? It's a marshmallow. It's a winter in a marshmallow world. It's a winter in a marshmallow world.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you very much. I mentioned earlier today that we have a very talented musical conductor, Emily Susan Pack, and I hope that you know that the song that was sung by the Maxons earlier is an original song that was written by Emily. But would you please, could we get you to come out and I think you've got another song that I've heard that you've performed and written for the show, and it really, and to me, captures the spirit of the holidays. And so I appreciate your willingness to share maybe perhaps another song with us. Tell us what inspired this next song.
Thank you, John. Yeah, you know, I was thinking about the 12 days of Christmas, and I was thinking about that woman, and her true love is bringing her all those birds, and if Mark Arnett could come plug in my ukulele, that would be great. And, you know, I was thinking about how I would feel if I was getting all those gifts, and I don't think I would like it very much, John.
Why is that, Emily?
Well, because I'm just a simple gal. I just like things very simple. I like a little simple Christmas, and frankly, it's a lot of birds.
If you think about it, right, just count the number of birds in that one song. It's pretty difficult. So I think this take then is maybe a more, a simpler time, a little bit less complicated Christmas song, right? Captures the season perfectly. Ladies and gentlemen, Emily Susan Pack.
Thank you. This is my little old Christmas time. I don't need 5 golden rings. I don't need the bells to chime. I don't need all my favorite things. Just my little old Christmas time. I don't need 7 swans a-swimming, Farmer Gray or his pumpkin pie. The joy in my heart is brimming with my little old Christmas time. I don't need the flash. I don't need the show. Emma? I don't need the splash. Get out here. I don't even need the snow.
I hope you don't mind I was joining you.
Oh, yeah. Join me for the rest of it. I don't need those pipers piping. I don't mean to sound unkind. I just don't need the overhyping. Just my little old Christmas time.
I love this song.
Thanks, Emma.
I know you wanted to keep it simple,
Yes.
but do you think it would sound good with a little...
I mean, that could sound good, but this song is just ukulele. It's just like a little tiny song. I just like things so simple and tiny. Well, yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Do you like that? Because I also wrote charts for the bass. 1, 2, 3.
I don't need 5 golden rings. Oh gosh. I don't need the bells to chime. I don't need all my favorite things. Just my little old Christmas time. I don't need those. Okay. I don't need the flash.
You don't need the flash.
I don't need the show.
You don't need the show.
I don't need the splash.
You don't need the splash.
I don't even, guys, what's going on? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Get it. Get it. Go for it.
Hey, come on, no, stop it. Emily, I'm so sorry. I know that the theme of this song was to keep it simple, and these people just ruined the message, I think. Come on.
Sorry.
I apologize. Please. You guys. I'm sorry.
So many traitors. little old Christmas time. I don't need 12 drummers drumming, or a bass or a chorus line. But I have to admit it's stunning. Come on everybody, all together, you sing along one more time. 1, 2, 3. I don't need 5 golden rings. I don't need the bells to chime. I don't need all my favorite things. Just my little old Christmas time.
Oh yeah! Get it! Get it! That's why.
Thank you.
All right, a little flash is good. A little flash is good for Christmas, I think, isn't it? Thank you, Emily Susan Pack. Thank you for song number 2. I mentioned earlier that the sponsor of tonight's show is Caliber, the wealth management company. I'd like to invite Mr. George Pace to come up and just thank him in person for sponsoring tonight's show from Caliber. For those of you, come on here. Come on up, George. I'm gonna have you stand right here. George, Caliber, as I think most of us know, has made a big investment in downtown Mesa, purchased a lot of property, redeveloping them in a very historically significant way. What is it about our downtown that attracted you here, and why are you guys so bullish on downtown Mesa?
Thank you, Mayor Giles, and I also want to thank Vice Mayor Duff for all your support for Caliber. Much appreciated. And by the way, this is just a great entertainment tonight. This is awesome. I live in the North Valley. I might move down here. This is some good stuff.
I got a truck. Let me know when you want to move.
And I was walking downtown Main Street before this, and just all the people smiling, all the activity, it was so great to see. And to answer your question, there's multiple reasons why Mesa, but I think it really came down to the many meetings we had with you, Mayor Giles, several years ago. And we witnessed your passion and your love for the city of Mesa and your vision. And I think that vision is something that really energized Caliber to the point now where we've embarked on 11 real estate projects. When complete, it'll be about $100 million worth of total real estate development. So we're very excited about that. And what that's gonna do, it's gonna create jobs, create additional tax revenues for the city, create attainable housing, which is much needed in the state, get quality tenants for long-term leases in downtown Mesa. They're beautiful buildings, historic buildings. I think they just needed a little bit of revitalization, a little bit of a refreshing, and we think we're on our way now with a lot of tenants that are gonna be coming in soon. So we're excited about that. You know, a lot of this is driven through our Opportunity Zone Fund. Being that downtown Mesa is in an opportunity zone, our fund can invest our investors' money right into downtown Mesa. We have about 1,500 plus investors, and many of those are Arizona residents. They're investing right back into your community. So that's great to see. Lastly, our new fund's a $250 million Opportunity Zone Fund, and there's gonna be a lot of that earmarked coming right back here in downtown Mesa.
Thank you so much, George. We appreciate the work that Caliber's doing in our downtown, and thank you for sponsoring the show tonight. Nice jacket, too, by the way. So this is the point of, as you know, we're recording a podcast, and so you probably knew at some point this was going to turn into a conversation for the podcast, right?
You know, at the top of the show, we kind of made fun of you, like taking this whole podcasting thing kind of seriously, but you do have a lot of fun with this. I mean, I think you're loving doing this.
Well, I do because...
Don't make this the moment when you tell me it's over and no, you're not interested at all.
No, I do. Because being a Mesa native, I have a real appreciation for there's a lot of really genuine, fascinating stories about our community. And I've always thought that the people who live here need to know those stories, and it would give us a greater appreciation for our hometown. So I'm grateful that we can use the podcast to tell some of these fascinating but lesser known stories.
Yeah, sure. I was surprised to find out when we were going to interview Alice Cooper that you were actually sort of a genuine fan of Alice Cooper.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I thought maybe Karen Carpenter would be your thing, but... I mean, you're such a nice guy. Alice Cooper doesn't really strike me as your jam.
Well, the Karen Carpenter song earlier tonight did bring a tear to my eye, I'll have to admit. But I'm a product of the 70s. I remember Alice Cooper in his heyday.
Yeah.
And it really has been fascinating to get to meet the man and find out there's another side to him.
Sure. Yeah, like I say, that surprised me. But then when I went back and looked at our old high school yearbooks.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought, how did I miss that?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Went through a mascara stage in, I think it was junior year.
There's your actual one where you signed my yearbook. There.
Oh.
Yeah.
That did sign me. Wow. I might adopt that look again. It's not bad.
He was kind of surprising as you. I guess it goes on
It
and
keeps
on.
going. I'm sorry. Yeah. Every photo in the yearbook is
Okay,
the
we'll
same.
move past those pictures and we'll get.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun to talk to him, wasn't it? He was a story machine.
You know, you don't realize he is an encyclopedia on rock and roll.
Yeah.
We talked with him for quite a while, and he could tell you stories about every band, every rock and roll star. He'll say, "Oh yeah, that guy spent a week on my couch." I mean, I'm talking about the Beatles, the Stones, everybody. He could talk for hours and tell you the details of how they got there, why it's a miracle that they're alive. I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah, he said he could write a book on all of them, but he has to wait till they're dead to do it because it would be too revealing.
Look for that book because he's a fascinating, multifaceted guy. And the thing that struck me about him is, one of his famous songs is "No More Mr. Nice Guy." This is one of the nicest guys you're going to meet. I think a lot of times fame and fortune ruins people, and for other people, it puts them in a position to show the side of their personality that is so magnanimous and is so charitable. And he and his wife have done amazing things with their celebrity.
Yeah, just tell him a little bit about what he does with the Solid Rock.
The Solid Rock Teen Center is just right over here on Country Club near Main Street, and it's an after-school program for teenagers. Most of these are kids that this is the most important thing in their lives. If you talk to them, this is what they look forward to every day when they wake up is going, and it's for artists. I mean, yes, if you think you want to be a rock and roll guitar player when you grow up, this is the place to go. But it's also for painters and movie makers and photographers. I mean, they embrace all of the arts, and I can't overstate the significance of the programs.
Yeah, it was great. Well, you said, I know this isn't about like making people famous. It's more about engaging the youth. And he goes, well, Jordan Sparks did start at one of his Solid Rock centers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had a great time going out there to Falcon Field to ride a B-17. And it was just, what a thrill to get in one of those old planes and to realize what a tin bucket some of those things. I mean, at the time, they were state of the art, but I mean, my heavens. But we got kind of a surprise when we got there, didn't we?
That's right. There's a gentleman that lives in Mesa who is an actual B-17 pilot from World War II. He lied about his age to enlist in the military and ended up flying B-17s over Europe. Just an amazing story, and the fact that we could be with him and take him on that experience and get firsthand what that was like, it was really a compelling story.
Yeah. Fred Engstrom was his name, right?
Yes, Mr. Engstrom. He was not quite up to being here tonight, but he's still doing well here in Mesa. You
can fly 25 missions is the maximum, right? And he did that.
Yes.
And this was, we called it his 26th mission.
That's
that
right.
he went out on there, right?
That's right. And the other thing I loved about this is it helps tell the story of Falcon Field exists because it was created by the Royal Air Force back pre-World War II to train their pilots to go back and fight in Europe. And so hearkening back to the World War II era of Falcon Field really, I think, grounds us and lets us know how we ended up with this, really very busy airport in the middle of our city.
Jumping forward many decades, a couple of generations, we have you don't often have someone who wins the first medal in a sport from your town, but that's what Jagger Eaton did. He won the first skateboarding medal.
Yes,
yeah,
he did.
That's an applause for Jagger Eaton.
This is an amazing story. One of the things that's interesting about the Olympics is they're always, adding new sports. And so it was the Tokyo Olympics. They added skateboarding as an Olympic sport. And I remember at the time watching it and watching Jagger, who I knew was from Mesa, and just being overwhelmed on his behalf at the pressure that those athletes are in, because this is kind of a combination of dancing and gymnastics. And I remember him putting in his earbuds and kind of getting into a zone before he went on this amazing run that looked like it was, orchestrated by a computer, and the flips that he was doing was just amazing. Yeah. And the fact that he is born and raised in Mesa, got his chops at Kids That Rip on Gilbert and McDowell, I think is really a very inspiring story for young people in Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah, and he does a lot of work with youth. He's just a great guy. He's just kind of what you'd picture from a skateboarder, kind of shaggy and chill, but surprising on a whole nother level, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
super intelligent.
He's very genuine, very right. I mean, you look at him and you expect the, hey, dude, some sort of California...
and you got some of that from him.
Oh, he's that, but he's very, very sharp and very, very interested in helping other people.
Yeah. Before we talk about the last episode, I think we missed an introduction of our second contestant for Crazy Santa Facts.
I'm sorry.
And we just, no, that's okay. But we should probably stand up again and say your name real loud because we missed it.
My name's Max.
Max, you did a great job on that.
Max, we got a Max performance out of you. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice. Thanks for playing.
I was a little nervous, and I skipped over that. I'm sorry, Max.
Back in August, just a couple months ago, we were in the theater next door, the IKEA theater, this beautiful theater, and we set up the stage as kind of the place where that was an audience for our Academy Award winner here from Mesa, Troy Kotzer. In preparation for your interview with him, I listened to so many interviews with Troy Kotzer, and I think the reason that you have to go back and listen to that episode is because he told Mayor Giles things that I had never heard in any of those interviews. Really powerful stuff.
Troy is very much a Mesa person, and so I think we knew him, and it was probably the best place for that interview to take place, because it really was coming home with people who grew up with him and knew the questions to ask. Troy is born and raised in Mesa, has lived here his entire life. You think about that for a Hollywood actor, most of them are just passed through Mesa, but his father was the police chief in Mesa. Believe it or not. And his brother retired from the Mesa Fire Department. And he's got lots of other family members that continue to work for Mesa City government. So I really felt like this was the place that needed to honor him.
Yeah. We felt connected to him on another level because he went to Westwood. He was a Westwood Warrior.
That's right.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah. War Eagle in the back there.
He played basketball for Coach Doolin, who both we knew.
And we talked to Coach Doolin, and he had some great, very funny stories.
Yeah.
Troy is an entertainer. He is the life of the room.
Yeah.
Anytime he walks in, he's just he sucks the oxygen out, even though he's not talking. But somehow he manages to entertain everyone.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Well, it's a honor to be able to work with you on this podcast. You do such a great job with it.
Well, thanks for making it what it is, Brian. It's a very entertaining podcast, and we're just getting started. There's lots of great stories to tell in Mesa.
It felt like we were at the Oscars and they were trying to rush us off the stage, but they just brought the lights down. Okay, enough. Okay, we're going. Well, now I think we should do the thing that we came here to do.
That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further delay, I'm delighted for you to hear another true, genuine Mesa, Arizona story, The Man Who Killed Santa Claus.
What you're about to hear is based on a true story that happened right here in Mesa. It was the roaring 20s, the age of jazz, flappers, and speakeasies. But one craze flew higher than all the rest.
Hooray! Let's take a magic ride, fly me up in a starry night. You're bold as a hurricane, and you've got a brand new aeroplane.
The craze reached its zenith in 1927 when Charles Lindbergh crossed the Atlantic and landed in Paris. Oh! Even the French could not withhold their enthusiasm.
Vive le ugly American!
Suddenly, anything seemed possible. People were flying as high as Lindbergh himself.
'Cause you got a brand new aeroplane. Yeah, you got a brand new aeroplane.
But 18 months later, the stock market crashed. Come December 1932, Americans were still grinding through the Great Depression. Arizona was no exception. In downtown Mesa, even though it was the first Saturday in December, there were more street performers than there were shoppers.
I used to think life was a bowl of cherries. Turns out it's a coal mine full of canaries.
You sound better than ever, Sally.
Thanks, Johnny.
Johnny was John McPhee, editor of the Mesa Journal-Tribune, as it was called in those days. McPhee was an incurable big thinker.
Hey, we're still doing that outdoor Christmas concert, right?
If you say so, Johnny.
I do say so. Keep your head up, Sal.
McPhee was headed to Dolly's coffee shop to join a meeting of merchants who were trying to figure out a way to get people to shop downtown. As usual, Dolly ran the show.
All right, let's get this meeting started. Who wants coffee?
Francesco Spinelli of Spinelli's Accordion Sales and Lessons was the first to speak. I'll take an espresso.
Francesco. Do you see gondolas floating by my coffee shop?
No.
No, you do not. And there's no espresso machine here either.
Okay, fine. I'll have the American black coffee.
Grazie. No coffee for you, right, Pearl?
Oh gosh, no, never.
Pearl Gertz. She ran Gertz's Fine Clothing.
I am so excited to tell you my idea because it's gonna break us out of the depression. I feel it in my bones. Old Uncle Sam's gonna come roaring back, USA, USA.
Yeah, I can see you don't need any coffee.
No way. America is nature's caffeine, baby.
Oh, why so loud?
Because there's no volume control on freedom.
They finally got down to work. Dolly was the first to offer her idea.
Okay, I say the best way to get people downtown is to do a raffle.
Oh, sure. The Elks Lodge just had a big raffle.
Yes, and the Moose Lodge.
Oh, yeah, and the VFW too.
Yeah, we already have five raffles this year.
Well, it just proves that they work.
No, it only proves that raffles are like dogs. One is fine, 5 and you scoopy to poopy all day long.
Francesco, it only cost me $1.50 to donate a chicken dinner, but I'll get $5 for it in a raffle. See, it's easy money.
Why don't you give away accordion lessons?
Ah, come on, why not?
For the same reason you don't buy an espresso machine, too expensive.
How much do people pay for accordion lessons?
I will have you know, the king, at his funeral, there was accordion playing.
Oh, well, if he wasn't dead already, that would have done the trick.
All right, come on, Pearl. Show him how it's done. What'll you give?
Oh, yes, Pearl, please. Tell us, I suppose you'll donate a whole new suit and the mannequin it hangs on,
The suit would be easy compared to the mannequin. That thing cost me an arm and a leg.
So too expensive, yes?
Well, what's your idea, Francesco?
Do nothing. Let's save our money.
Well, that's a fine attitude. No wonder you guys never straightened up that Leaning Tower of Pizza.
Pizza.
Okay, my turn. You ready? Everyone all fired up?
Yes, come on, just go.
We bring back the Christmas Day Parade.
Oh, no. The
Christmas Day Parade?
Oh. Now, if you're from Minnesota, a Christmas Day Parade might seem like an odd thing to do. But if you're from Mesa, Arizona, it makes a whole lot of sense. Mesa tried a 4th of July parade once. People gathered at 3 a.m. just to beat the heat. And since it was pitch black, things got a little complicated. When the marching band turned left off of 87 onto Main Street, half the band kept going straight into the darkness. Clem Hackett, a nearly deaf trombone player, got halfway to Gilbert before he realized what had happened.
Hello? Hello?
The next year, they began a Christmas Day parade, but in time, it too fizzled.
No one shows up for the Christmas Day parade anymore.
Of course not. There's no accordions.
Okay, the raffle is the way to go.
No, it's
That's
not
what
the
we should
raffle.
do. We
Please.
should just
How
do a
many
raffle,
times do
and
we
everyone
talk
knows that
about
it
the
works.
raffle?
Hey!
Come on.
They looked to the end of the counter and saw the familiar face of their friend, John McPhee.
No need to argue, my friends, because I have it all figured out. Coffee and pie, Dolly.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this big idea. That last one of yours? Oh, that was a beauty.
What makes it big funny?
He bought 100 acres out in Queen Creek. Like anyone's ever gonna want to live in Queen Creek.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, very funny, doll. Okay, here's my idea in one word. Charles Lindbergh.
Yes, Lindbergh as Grand Marshal for the Christmas Day Parade.
No, not Lindbergh per se, but flying as entertainment, Barnstorming, wing walking, a parachutist wearing a big red suit.
A big red suit. It looking like Santa Claus. Oh.
Here's how it works. We'll get Chet Chesterton to be Santa. You guys know Chet. He parachuted into France a few times.
Hold on. Chet's a beanpole.
Let's stuff him with something.
Forget about Chet being a pole for beans. Here's a voice. He's way up here. You can't have Santa Claus going, ho, ho, ho.
We'll come back to that. My Uncle Dave will fly the plane. When the big day comes, Chet, as Santa, hops in. He circles around Main Street a few times, gets everyone excited. Then Santa walks out on the wing and jumps.
No.
The crowd goes wild. Santa, Santa. He makes a nice soft landing out near Dobson, and Sheriff Roy picks him up in the squad car and he rolls into downtown with a bag full of candy. Now I ask you, who's gonna stay home with their kids when Santa's jumping from an airplane shouting, "Hello, kids, come get your candy."
I think you mean, hello, kids, come get your candy.
Oh, boy.
I'm sorry. A raffle's just a lot simpler.
I agree, Dolly, but this situation requires something big and bold.
The Christmas Day Parade is big and bold.
You're right, Pearl. Once upon a time it was, but it's time for something new and innovative.
I still say do nothing and save your money.
Yep, caution is wise. But Francesco, Lindbergh changed the world, right? Friends, we have to look at the big picture here. We're 3 years into a depression. Some folks are losing hope. That's the great thing about this idea. It's fun. It's something fun. Gets people's minds off their troubles. Now look, we can solve all these little problems, I promise. But what do you say, huh?
They all agreed. Santa Claus was falling to town. And John McPhee started doing what he does best. Promotion.
Deep down in Arizona, out in Mesa Way, there's a newspaper man just typing away. He said, come and see Santa jumping from a plane. Then he'll hand out candy at center in Maine. He writes just like an angel, all the people agree. He's a literary legend called Johnny McPhee. Now go, go Johnny, go, go, go. 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 Johnny McPhee.
The big big day had arrived, and Main Street was jammed with people. McPhee went out to the airstrip to meet his Uncle Dave.
Morning, Uncle Dave.
Morning, college boy.
You ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready. But where's your sissy jumper?
He's not here?
Looks like college boy might have to slip into the Santa suit and jump.
Oh, no.
Oh, a lot of good that English degree is going to do you now. Oh, or did you major in skydiving?
McPhee's mind was racing. Chet did seem a little nervous. Where could he be? Where would a nervous parachutist go to calm his nerves? McPhee burst into the rip and snort.
Chet!
Passed out at the bar was a skinny scarecrow in a Santa suit.
Chet! Chet!
Oh, morning, Mommy.
Oh, Chet.
Oh, Johnny, it's you. Oh, is it time? Oh, let's go.
Oh, buddy. I don't think that's a good idea.
Are you kidding? I'm A-okay. I'm fit as a fiddle. I'm super dizzy.
McPhee had no choice. He was going to have to put on the Santa suit and jump. But as he looked at the seemingly lifeless form of Chet Chesterton, he got a better idea. A few minutes later, he burst into Pearl's dress shop.
Pearl.
What's wrong?
Pearl, look, I don't have time to explain, but I need your mannequin.
No way, not this mannequin.
Pearl, I will buy a new suit from you if you let me borrow the mannequin.
I'm sorry, Johnny. Nothing doing.
Pearl, America needs your mannequin.
In that case, I regret that I have but one mannequin to give for my country. Here, take it.
Thank you, Pearl.
Freedom!
10 minutes later, Uncle Dave was taxiing down the runway seated next to a Santa mannequin. There was no turning back now. Meanwhile, downtown Mesa was a madhouse. Dolly, Francesco, and Pearl had to admit, McPhee was a genius. After Santa dropped, they were really gonna move some merchandise. Suddenly, the plane appeared. From 3,000 feet, no one could tell that Santa was just a mannequin as it moved out onto the wing and jumped.
Yay!
The children squealed with delight. Even the parents gasped with joy. For that moment, the world was full of possibilities. For that moment, the Great Depression was really not that great. This was truly a magical Christmas. For that moment. Perhaps McPhee at the corner of Dobson, Maine was the first to notice. Santa's parachute was tangled.
No, 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 no!
Its first feet fall quickly transitioned into a rapid end-over-end tumble. Dolly, Francesco, and Pearl watched in disbelief and then looked at the children, who had still not quite caught on. It was one of those moments that happens in slow motion.
Santa! Santa! Santa!
Santa!
Parents hugged their children and guided them away from the horrible scene. But hope was never lost with John McPhee. He pulled the costume off the demolished mannequin.
It's okay. The kids know Santa Claus can survive this, right? Santa can survive anything, right?
He put on the Santa suit and jumped in the squad car.
Floor it, Roy!
But when they arrived downtown, McPhee was horrified to see that the town was empty. Emptier than he had ever seen it before.
Hello? Hello?
and this is true. McPhee skipped town for a few days, hoping that when he returned, people would have forgotten all about the Christmas Day Massacre, as some called it, but they never did.
In fact, when John McPhee died in 1960, the list of his accomplishments was pretty impressive. Mayor of Telluride, Colorado, among them.
But when his former paper, the Mesa Journal-Tribune, ran his obituary, he was identified by his common name and title in Mesa, the man who killed Santa Claus.
But in my book, John McPhee had one of the greatest qualities a person can have. He loved Mesa. And this John would love to walk the streets of downtown Mesa with that John and show him everything that's happened since the last time that he was here. 90 years ago, a world-class art center, light rail, popular restaurants, award-winning craft beverage joints, and one-of-a-kind coffee shops that, yes, serve espresso, and a brand new ASU campus right in the middle of our town. And with every one of these improvements, it's people like John McPhee that made it happen. People who were brave and bold, innovative, and willing to take a risk. So John McPhee, if you're listening, thank you for your inspiration. You're just one more reason that we can always say, it's always cool in Mesa. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Well, you better watch out, better not cry. Today's the day old Santa's gonna die. Santa Claus is falling to town. He went up in a plane about 3,000 feet. His parachute failed and now Santa's dead meat. Hey, Santa Claus is falling to town. I want to break it to you gently. Don't want to do the young ones harm. So all you kids gather round and listen up. Hey, Santa's bought the farm. Look up and the thing is ready to die. It's old Saint Nick and he's falling like rain. Santa Claus is falling to town.
I'd like to give a special thanks to our performers here. On drums, Bruce Stabola. On bass, Jess Solberg, related to half of the audience. Our pianist and musical director, the incomparable Emily Susan Pack. Thank you, Emily. Our special musical guest, Miss Emma Nissen. You know her win, ladies and gentlemen. Our actors, Lindsay Maxon, Tyler Maxon, and Leah Fromm Hall. Sound effects man and the producer of tonight's show, Mr. Mark Arnett. Mark. And the show's creator, writer, and my good friend, Mr. Brian Nissen. Thanks again. Once again, I'm Mayor John Giles saying thank you for coming and good night.
He should have stuck inside that sleigh, but he wanted to help those downtown cats. So his last words were ho ho hey. You better watch out. You better not cry. Today's the day old Santa's gonna die. Santa Claus is falling. Santa Claus is falling. I say Santa Claus is falling to my kind of town.